everybody! What's going on, man? We're back. That's right, we're back. Not that we really left, but it sounds cool, right? We're back! That's right. And we're not back in black, though the album cover that I'm going to talk about today is kind of black, all right? So, the album I want to talk about today, a little spotlight thing going on. I was going to wait, but I didn't want to. Hey, my prerogative, all right? I didn't want to wait, and because I posted, a lot of you guys saw what I posted, right? So I was listening to that album driving to work today. I'm like, I can't wait to get home because now I got to get this out of my system, all right? It's in my system. And you don't know that shit. Anywho, so it's coming up on the 40th anniversary. I was going to say the 40th year. Yeah, same thing. 40th anniversary, man. So I mean, I think back. So, the anniversary is September 23rd, 1983. Dude, high school. In high school. That was 40 years ago. Whew, man, I'm getting older. All right? It's not cool, man. It is not cool. But anyway, you know what's funny is I'm still listening to this album 40 years later, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. All right? So, yeah, boom. September 23rd, 1983, recorded in Cherokee Studios in Hollywood, California, all right? Produced by the great Tom Warman. I mean, this guy has worked with everybody, okay? It was engineered by Jeff Workman, all right, who actually came up with the instrumental to the beginning of this album. Well, no, not that or that. I know my finger's pointing in that direction, but that's not what I'm pointing out. You guys pay attention. So, yeah, he did the instrumental to the beginning before, the drums kick in. All right? What else? Before these guys went and made this record, this was their second album. All right? They already had the first one out. They had, the original one, the first one was on like Leather Records, whatever. There was like minimal copies made of that. I think there's actually like one cassette made of that. And then they redid it. And basically the first album really is just their demo tape. All right. Just kind of like, fixed up a little bit here and there. But that thing, man, got on the Billboard charts, back in 1981, All right. Motley Crue's first album, Too Fast for Love, actually got in to the Billboard 200. Back in 1981, right? So now they're on tour, and they were supporting Kiss for a couple of dates. Let me explain. On the Creatures of the Night tour, okay? They're out there touring with Kiss, and they lasted, I don't know, anywhere from a week to 2 weeks. And the knuckleheads that they are, Gene is like, "You got to get these guys out of here. I don't like their behavior." He's got that lip. The God of Thunder doesn't like Motley Crue's behavior. So basically, they got tossed off the Kiss tour. Like, blows my mind, right? Whatever. I mean, Kiss was mature back in, 1983 with the Creatures of the Night tour, All right. So our boys go in the studio and they start laying the tracks down for what's going to be Shout at the Devil. Right? Freaking great album, man. So let me just bust this out. This is my original copy that I still got, which is still in great shape. All right? There you go, man. Great album. All right? Now, right off the bat, oh my God, it's devil worshiping and stuff like that. No, it's not even close. All right? So that's cool. You guys all know what the back looks like, right? It's gatefold. When you bought this and you open this up, you're like, oh, that's cool, man. Because, when you had Too Fast for Love, let me grab one of my copies. All right, my original copy, when you looked on the back, these guys were still kind of in their, California, LA kind of costumes. These guys weren't loaded yet. Really didn't have a big budget to do anything. Throw that back up there. Guarantee this thing falls on my head. All right? So now they get a little more money, and now they start looking like this. All right? I told you it was going to fall. Please hold. This is why I need more shelves. That's why we can't have nice things. Come on, stop messing around, man. Iron Maiden is like pushing him, like, get this crap off of me. Hey, man, that's Eddie for you. Anywho, so back to this, right? It's this big Mad Max kind of look, all right? Kind of all leathered out and studded out and stuff like that, right? So, cool album. I mean, right off the bat, man. You drop the needle, it goes into that instrumental I was talking about, right? This was the sleeve. It had the words. That pentagram. It has the pentagon on it. Oh, my God. All right? The original label, Elektra, okay? And it starts off with, you know, in the beginning. In the beginning. And you're like, what is this, man? You know, high school kid, like, oh, okay. And then it goes into Shout at the Devil. Killer song, man. I mean, this whole album, really, I mean, Looks to Kill. It might be played out because of the video. But the rest of this album is just, even that song, man. You know, I haven't heard it in so long, really, till today. I mean, it used to be on MTV, you know, in heavy rotation. It got played out, okay? But now, years, you know, you haven't seen the video, and once in a while, you might hear it on the radio, you know. But other than that, you know, I throw it on now, and I'll leave it in, you know, my mixes and stuff like that. I don't take it out. It's cool. It wasn't a bad song to begin with. It just got played to death, you know, just like Rats Round and Round. It's not a bad song. It just got played out, all right? So, man, yeah, everything on here is just freaking great. You know, it's produced well, but now imagine if they had Bob Rock, you know, the guy who did the Metallica Black album, right? Bob was also on here. And this is the album that Lars heard and was like, I want that drum sound, which henceforth, then therefore, ended up the drum sound on the Black album because of that. That's right. You can ask Lars. Like, you know, I was on the phone with him a little while ago. I'm like, yo, Lars, yeah, you know, fact check. And he said, yeah, that's right, man, yeah. Sticking his tongue out every 2 seconds. What the hell is he doing? Oh, well, we know what he's doing, but got to keep this G-rated. All right, so, yeah. So, Bob Rock, but, yeah, this would have sounded probably a hell of a lot different if they had, you know, that sound on here, the Dr. Feelgood sound on this album, but it's cool, it's raw. You know, Tom Werman, that's how he was working. You know, he also did the Twisted Sister, you know, the Stay Hungry album. It's pretty much got that same sound, you know. But yeah, in the beginning, and it goes into Shout at the Devil. Great song, man. Just, you know, Tommy Lee's drums, just boom, and the bass. Killer stuff, man, right? Then it goes into The Looks That Kill. There we go, right? Right off the bat. Another good song, man. It's nice. Got a good tempo. You know, and Tommy Lee, man, he's got, I love the way he does his kind of like offbeat kind of cymbal hits where he'll like hold back for a second and then hit, you know. It's like, it's hard to explain. I don't want to start singing, you know. She's got the looks to kill. And he holds back and then he hits. Listen to the song. You'll understand what I'm saying. All right? So, yeah, cool song, Looks That Kill. The model that was in that video, Wendy Barry, okay? She was in that video and she was like, oh, Motley Crue were so great to work with. They were all very nice. I'm sure, right? She ended up in Rat's video, Back for More, and Nikki and Tommy are on that video as well. Go check it out, all right? So, yeah, so back to this. Looks to Kill. Then it goes into the song Bastard, which the PMRC, whatever, had a field day with. Oh, my God, right? Then it goes into, here we go, you flip it over, goes into Red Hot, you know, Tommy's bass drums. Very cool beginning, man. Great freaking song, man. Then Too Young to Fall in Love. Oh, my God. The video is kind of whack. That's right, I said it's kind of whack, you know. It's not P-H-A-T fat. It's whack, all right? You know, that whole thing was just, like, what are they doing eating Chinese food? Too Young to Fall in Love. Anyway, but it's a great freaking song, man. It's probably my favorite song on here. You know, the way Vince, you know, his vocal lines, you know, the guitar riff, and it even mixed solo and all that stuff. That's a great song. All right? Then, what else we got going on up in here's Knock 'em Dead Kid. All right? Knock 'em Dead Kid. Nikki Sixx got into a fight with a bunch of Hell's Angels. Though they weren't actually Hell's Angels, they were undercover cops. Oh, yeah. So Nikki hits one of them with a freaking chain. The cops grab him, you know, dressed up as Hell's Angels. They beat the crap out of him. He gets a black eye. He gets a broken cheekbone. And then he goes and he writes the song. So, you know, if you want to get some inspiration, just go get your ass kicked by the friggin' cops. I'm sure you can write a lot of songs like that, right? I got my ass kicked by the local PA. Oof, take it easy, all right? It's me doing country, all right? Hey, you guys know what happens when you play a country song backwards, right? You get your record and you play the country song backwards. You know what happens? The guy gets his truck back. He gets his horse back. He gets his girl back. All sorts of stuff. All I'm hearing is crickets, crickets, and crickets. You know, I try to bring a little entertainment here to this stuff, and you guys just whoosh, kill me. All right, enough of that. So yeah, Knock 'em Dead Kid gets his ass kicked by the cops. Writes a song. Good stuff. Okay. Then we go into 10 Seconds to Love. Cool song. It's real quick. Well, that 10 Seconds to Love. It would have been funny if that song was actually like 10 seconds, like a little snippet. But it's all right. It's not the greatest song on here, but it's all right. And then the last song, Danger. Danger's a cool song. I actually dig that song, man. This is Hollywood. Great freaking song, man. Again, you know, Vince's vocal lines and the guitars and just the mood of that song, the atmosphere that it creates. It's a freaking great song, man. That's another great song on here. So for me, I think, you know, Too Young to Fall in Love, Danger, Red Hot is still a great song. I can never get sick of hearing that. So yeah, and Bastard too. When I'm like in a gnarly kind of mood, you know, Bastard kind of fills that void, you know. It's like, and that's a good example of the Tommy playing that I was talking about, where he holds back and then hits. That's a good example of it. But yeah, great freaking album, man. And this is going to be 40 years old, and this album still freaking rocks, right? Still rocks. So my original copy. Now, if you guys saw my post, which some of you had and you've commented, whatever. So Motley Crue is coming out with a box set, all right? And it's got that album, obviously, in a splatter vinyl. It comes with a picture disc, which looks like this, all right? It's got the CD. It's got, I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff like Kiss does, you know, some pictures and some tarot cards, and I think there's a bandana in there and a whole bunch of other stuff. But the cool thing, I think there's some demos and some rarities on there. Now, I'm hoping it's not the same stuff that came on the CD, which I'll show you in a little bit. I hope it's not the same stuff, you know. I hope they kind of dug in, or just, you know, I mean, with recording these days and those days, whatever, I mean, these bands can put out stuff forever. As long as, because when you record, those of you that don't know, when a band goes to record, all the instruments are recorded separately, okay? The vocals, the bass, drum, everything is recorded separate. They're not, you know, even if they play together, it's recorded separately for the most part, all right? I don't want to get misquoted here. Oh, and get these comments. For the most part. So when it comes to the mixing and the mastering, I mean, you know, they add EQs and they add vocal echoes and reverbs and stuff. I mean, any band, any producer can just take, all right, I'm just going to use this as an example. Just take this and just redo all the songs and make them shorter. They can make them longer if there's some added pieces to them. They can add this and that. I mean, there's a million things you can do to a song and just say, oh, this is the new edit that we found in the vaults. There's a gazillion things you can do, especially with Pro Tools and everything these days. So hopefully there's some cool stuff in the rarity department of the Motley Crue box set coming up. Now, I saw how much it was from this reliable source, and it's just over the $200 mark. Yep, it's under $250, but it's above $200. Now, to be honest, these Kiss box sets are up there as well. So do Metallica's. Anybody who's got a decent sized box set, these things are $200 plus. All right, let's face it. You know, even if, you know, maybe if you get the CD version of it, but the vinyl stuff, through the roof. All right, so that's coming out. I think it's September or November. It's definitely coming out before Christmas, like, you know, most smart bands do. Oh, we're gonna release it before Christmas, and, you know, They're going to rack up. But yeah, I forget the release date. I don't know if it's going to be released September when this one was released, or, you know, October, November. I don't freaking know. All I saw was the price and what was in it, all right? If you haven't seen it, I posted it, okay? It's in the post on the community board there. Go check it out, or at this point, who knows? It might be, Google it, all right? Motley Crue, 40th anniversary, Shot the Devil, blah, blah, blah. You know the routine, all right? So that's my original copy. Now, a couple of little things with these guys during this time. They're on tour with Ozzy, all right? And at this point, believe it or not, they were on the tour bus and they were talking about getting rid of Mick. Now, this is back in the day, you know, 1983, 1984. They're already talking about getting rid of Mick. Oh, he's too old, man. And, you know, we want, they were talking about getting like a flashy guitar player, like, you know, an Yngwie, but not Yngwie. Imagine Yngwie Malmsteen and Motley Crue. Oh, my God. But, you know, someone a little more technical. And they were talking about that. And Bob Daisley, who you guys may know, it was the bass player in Ozzy at the time. He's been in Rainbow. This guy's been in a whole bunch of bands, all right? He turns to them and goes, hey, listen, guys, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. You know, you got a good formula here with you guys in this band. Don't screw it up. You get rid of Mick and you get another guitar player in here, it might just screw everything up. And, you know, you guys, you're on your second album. You know, it's taken off. It sold, Shout the Devil sold like 200,000 copies in the first week or the first couple of weeks. And now you want to go screw with that? Come on, man. But, you know, these guys were what, in their early 20s when this came out? So the mindset wasn't there. Yeah, so they wanted to do that. So now in 1984, again, they're on the Monsters of Rock tour, all right? They're with Van Halen and they're with AC/DC, are the headliners. Now, some of you guys, if you read The Dirt and know Motley Crue, you guys are fans, that these guys, the Motley guys, were into like this biting face. They were like biting people. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? You should have been called Hollywood Vampires and maybe not Motley Crue. Fucking biting people for. Like, seriously. So Vince bites Eddie Van Halen, right? So now Eddie's pissed off. Tommy Lee bites Malcolm Young of AC/DC. How Malcolm was a little guy, but could you see Malcolm Young and Tommy Lee duking it out? Mate, you freaking bit me, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass, you know, and just going at it. You know, Tommy Lee, dude, yo, chill, man. You know, it's a love bite. Could you imagine those guys? Or Eddie fighting freaking Vince? Holy crap. Unbelievable. And then what else? Then Tommy gets into a fight with David Lee Roth. These guys are fisticuffing, right? So I don't know if they got thrown out of their hotel or whatever, but Dave, Eddie, and Malcolm Macy, they want these guys thrown off the tour. So they really couldn't get thrown off because they were really gaining popularity, man. You know, Motley Crue was starting to take off, man. I mean, this album was the shiznick, you know. This put Motley on the map, and everybody was digging this album. So they couldn't throw him off the tour. So what the promoter thought of, before Motley comes on, you know, gets on the stage, they're going to show up, they're going to get into their trailer, then there's going to be a crane outside. Yes, a crane like you see in Manhattan, you know, in skyscrapers, a freaking crane. The Motley Crue guys are going to get inside that freaking trailer, and the crane is going to lift them a few feet off the ground so they can't get out and cause mayhem with the other freaking bands. Holy shit. Now, it's something I read now. I think it's true. You know, I can definitely see that happening. I mean, the stuff that must have went on behind the stages of these guys back in the day. I mean, the outrageousness, you know, of some of these bands that, you know, we really don't know, you know, but the road managers know and the crew knows and nobody ever said anything. Oh, my God. So, yeah, they took a crane. Oh, the Motley Crue guys are in the trailer. All right, jack it up, man. 50 feet. If they want to jump, let them jump. The hell with it. We'll find another opening act. Unbelievable. So, yeah, that's what those guys did. Unbelievable. So, all right. So now I have the remastered version of this. Now, surprisingly, I only have 2 versions of this. Shocking, right? But I got 3 versions of the original album and 2 of this one and 2 of that one. And All right, so the remastered version, everything is the same. All right, the same cover, it's the same inside, same songs, nothing fancy going on here. This is the hype sticker. This came from there's a comic book / vinyl store near me, and it's called Newberry Comics. All right, that's their emblem up top. You see the little funny guy with the crown? Newberry Comics. Now these guys, I don't know, since Motley Crue basically sold their whole catalog like everybody else and their mother's doing these days for, you know, $50 trillion, they released these Motley Crue albums on 100 different colors and all sorts of stuff, man. So I happened to pick this one up when it kind of like first started coming out. It's the same thing. It's upside down. Same words, right? Same format. Same thing there. Now only this is kind of half clear and half black, which I thought was kind of cool, which is why I bought it. All right? It's kind of badass, right? Pretty snazzy. You know, it's on the Motley records. This isn't on Elektra. All right? Kind of cool. You dig it? I knew that you could. So yeah, man, 180 gram, all remastered, revamped, the whole nine. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there now you can find with these guys. Wish I could find the opening. No comment. No comment. Come on. Cardboard. All right. I got it. Goes back in there. Another cool thing. So now, talk about the pentagram. All right. So Nikki used to play with Blackie Lawless from Wasp, and they were in a band called Sister. Okay. When Nikki wanted to use this, he asked Blackie for permission because I guess Blackie was, you know, basically doing all this stuff. The band Sister was heavily into like this kind of stuff, almost like witchcrafty kind of symbolism. So Nikki's like, hey man, you know, you mind if I use this image? And Blackie's like, listen man, take whatever you want. You know, I don't care. I'm moving forward, you know, with Wasp, and I got a whole new image we're doing. And basically, you know, Blackie's thinking was, you know, once you get involved with something like this, you're gonna kind of corner yourself with that image. You know what I mean? So maybe that's why when Motley came out with Theater of Pain, they went a totally different direction so they wouldn't get, you know, cornered with that. But I mean, what a drastic change. I mean, oh my God, you go from Mad Max to, you know, I'm a Barbie girl. Since that's like the big thing right now. Like, seriously? I mean, you guys know what it looks like, but for those of you that don't, I mean, look at Vince. I mean, come on, guys. You're wearing garter belts and stuff. I mean, Nikki doesn't look too bad. Tommy looks all right. I mean, Mick is okay, but, you know, they got way too glammy, you know, from dirty metal kind of image to, you know, that. It's, you know, even the cover. You go from pitch black to all these covers. Now, colors. I mean, I actually like this cover. It's kind of cool, man. You know, Theater of Pain, the tragedy and happiness and all that stuff image. I actually like that cover, but two different things. All right. So yeah, so he did the whole thing. You know, he got the permission from Nikki. They did all that. Now Motley, again, they're on tour, and because their quote unquote Gene Simmons quote behavior was so erratic. So Doc McGee was their manager. You guys know who Doc McGee is. He managed Bon Jovi, Motley Crue. I don't know if he did the Scorpions for a little bit, but right now he's been with Kiss for God knows how many years. You know, Doc, unbelievable, man. A couple of hair bands too he was in charge of. So Doc at the time was Motley's manager, and because their reputation, whatever they were doing in these hotels, Doc had to put a deposit down for $15,000 in every hotel they were going into, just in case these guys just start ripping shit apart. Every hotel he had to put 15 grand down, you know, and if these guys, whatever they did, came out of that 15 grand, you know, and if they went over the 15 grand, then Doc had to come up with another 15 grand for the next hotel. Could you imagine doing that night after night after night? Oh my God, craziness. And then just on top of that, now this is just on the Shout at the Devil tour. This isn't, you know, moving forward with the Girls, Girls, Girls tour and everything else. This is just Shout at the Devil tour. And we all know how things escalated from here, right? And all the stories, man. Unbelievable. But yeah, shout out to Devil, man. So far, I think in the States it's gone, quadruple platinum. I think it's triple platinum in like Canada, and I think it's gold in Austria. I mean, it's definitely certified up there, And when the album first came out, of course, now I don't want to get too much into this because it's gonna piss me off like it always does. But the critics, of course, talked a whole lot of smack about this. Oh, this is for juveniles, and this is crap, and it's low grade, punk, and all sorts of stuff, man. They just destroyed this album. But the same guy, I'm not going to tell you what magazine, I'm not going to tell you his name or anything. The same guy who just badmouthed this album to hell, a couple years later on, is like, that album's not so bad, and this, that, and the other thing. And the magazine he worked for actually put it in, like, I don't know, the top 40 or the top 50, greatest metal albums of all time. One of those stupid freaking rankings that mean absolutely freaking nothing. But, how quickly we change our tunes, right? It comes out, oh, this is garbage. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, it's great. I can't believe I said, what was I thinking when I said that? That's why, man, when it comes to critics and stuff you read, I can't go by that. You gotta go and just listen to stuff for yourself, or go watch a movie. How many times you went to go see a movie and the critic is like, oh, this is crap. And you watch, you're like, oh my God, this is great. Right? Especially horror movies. I mean, some of them are, pretty bad, but you can find the good in them. But, just to like slaughter it right out of the gate as a critic, come on, man. Your tastes, whatever. And being that we're on this subject, I just want to get this off my chest real quick as far as critics go. If you're a critic and you work for a heavy metal magazine, chances are any new album that comes across your desk, you're going to like, or you're going to be like, oh, this is cool, but this isn't. You're going to find bits and pieces that you like and bits and pieces that you don't like, right? Now, if you work for one of the biggest magazines in America, I'm not going to mention, and you're not really a metalhead, because I don't see them putting their writers in categories, all right? No, they're like, hey, man, we're going to give you, 40 grand and come up with 4 paragraphs to review this new Motley Crue album. All right, bro. That's basically how it works. I think, or it did. How it works now, I have no idea, all right? But you can't get a guy who just reviewed, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a name out there. I don't know. He just reviewed the new Bob Dylan album, all right? Oh, it's great and this and that, and Bob's voice has aged like a fine wine and writes all this cool stuff, and maybe the next album that comes across his desk is, the latest REM album, which these guys haven't recorded in 30 years. Oh, man, it's great, and these guys are cool, and they still have the magic, and then all of a sudden that disappears, and boom, here's the new Motley Crue album, or, Manowar or something, any metal album, and they're like, what the hell is this? And they'll put it on and be like, and just cremate it, man. Like, how do you can't do that. So I don't listen to dudes like that. If I'm buying a metal magazine, or a classic rock magazine is great, and Rock Candy is a great magazine, I wish Kerrang was still around, then I would kind of appreciate that critic a little bit more, because they're in that genre and they get it and they understand it. Somebody else from some other magazines that's just a regular fly-by-night thing, forget it, man. If the guy says it sucks, I'm going to go buy it and be like, no, this is the greatest thing I ever heard. Because usually it is. So, anyway, enough of that critic crap. All right. So, shout out to Devil, man. 200,000 copies in the first couple weeks. Takes off, all right? Now, back to Motley. Here's a cool book, man. If you guys don't have this, Kickstart My Heart, all right? The Day to Day. Again, Martin Popoff. I really need... Martin, we got to talk, Martin. Every video I do, I'm showing one of your books. I don't want a commission, but... No, but, the guy writes really cool stuff, man. He's got a gazillion different books out, man. If you look up his name, you'll see a list. Like this. Longer, of all the stuff he's written. So, I value his opinion. I don't agree on everything he says, but he's got some good stuff, man. And I buy his books because he's a rocker guy. He's a metal guy. He's a rocker guy. But he's also into prog and a bunch of other stuff, But anyway, this is the day-to-day Motley Crue. Right, Martin Popoff. This is hardcover, all right? It's not too thick. I'm sure you can still find this out there. All right, awesome stuff. So it starts from the very beginning. It gives you the dates, you know, who these guys were influenced by, and just going into the studio and little tour facts and stuff like that. There's a really cool quote in here from Leonard Hayes, who was the drummer in Y&T. And he goes on to say that Motley, because they, you know, these guys were all in California, Motley opened up a couple of shows at the, was it the Starwood out in LA out there, that club. And they had Motley Crue open up for him a couple times on like Halloween nights, whatever. And I guess at one point, you know, California gets dry, man. You guys get those forest fires out there all the time. You know, you blink your eye the wrong way, and you know, 100 acres is on flames. So that was going on. It was like a drought, whatever, and you know, it was one of those high fire things. And they told Motley Crue, hey man, the fire marshal said, no pyrotechnics tonight, all right? Boom, you'll set the place on fire and the whole town will be on fire. So they didn't light any pyrotechnics, but that's when Nicky lit himself on fire. So the fire marshals are like, hey man, I gotta find you. I told you not to light a fire. You know, no pyrotechnics. What are you doing? And Nicky's like, well, there are no pyrotechnics. I lit myself on fire. So how is that so I guess they just argued like all night about this, you know, and then it doesn't go on to explain what the outcome was. It's just like this quote from Leonard, man, and I read it and I laugh because you can just see Nicky doing that, you know. Great stuff. But yeah, I'll show you some more pictures. All right. I mean, it goes through all the years, all right, even the Caraba years, all right, which I'm waiting for them to put that on vinyl. You know, that they need to do that. That album, talk about an underrated album. Oof. I know a lot of you guys like that album, and it's freaking great. Hooligan's Holiday, I mean, that whole album is just killer, man. So yeah, Motley Crue, day by day, all right? Now, another cool thing, so the Motley Crue CD, now this came out a bunch of years ago. The Crucially Crue? Oh, Crucially Cruel. No comment, all right? Crucial Crue, all right? Crucial Cruel. Cracking myself up. All right. So this came out, like I said, a few years ago. It came out like this. This has bonus tracks on it. It's got a bunch of demos, which I'm hoping, like I said, doesn't come on the box set. So you got, where does it start? The demo of Shout at the Devil, demo of Looks That Kill, Hotter Than Hell, which ended up over there. I Will Survive, unreleased track, Too Young to Fall in Love demo, and then there's enhanced, the video. Remember, you used to put these things in your computer? Enhanced video of Looks That Kill on here, right? Looks That Kill? Nope, Too Young to Fall in Love. Too Young to Fall in Love, all right? So that video's on there, so that's what it looks like, all right? I don't know if you guys can see the song titles. All right, so this was cool. I mean, I'm sure you can find this used somewhere, all right? I'm probably pretty positive. This is what the book looks like. You know, it's got the words, some black and white pictures. Okay. Flipping. Okay. Stuff. The old Crue. All right. And then it's got back here just like little descriptions of like the demos and stuff and how they started and what they became to be and stuff like that. So there's some cool liner notes in here. Now, for me, if you guys want to know what my favorite Motley Crue albums are, I mean, hands down, it's Looks That Kill and Shout at the Devil, all right? Everything after that, I mean, there's some cool songs on here. You know, Girls, 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 has some hit or miss, you know? And even Dr. Feelgood has some hit or miss songs, you know? Now, Dr. Feelgood's got a lot of guest stars on there. You got the Cheap Trick guys on there. You got Tommy Shaw from Styx. I think the singer, bass player, Jack Blades from Night Ranger's on there. There's a whole bunch of people on there, you know? I think even, are the Aerosmith guys on there? Joe and Steven? I'm not sure. I have to check the line notes on that again. But, I mean, it's a cool album. It's, you know, great sounding album. Like I said, that's where Lars heard that drum sound and flipped out. And that's why the Black Album sounds the way it does. Bob Rock, man. All right? Now, before I get to this other little batch of stuff here, this has really nothing to do with Shout at the Devil. It's just a live DVD, all right? Carnival of Sins. I was going to say Carnival of Souls. A lot of carnivals that year. Carnival of Souls, Carnival of Sins, Carnival of Carnival, go to the carnival. Oh my God. So, I mean, this DVD's pretty cool. It's all right. It is what it is. You know, they go through all their hits and stuff. It's pretty cool, circusy kind of themed. But it's badass. You know, I throw it on. You just want to rock out a little bit and just chill and watch these guys. You know, Tommy Lee's always great to watch. Awesome drummer, right? Cool stuff. Now, I really didn't want to go over all the Motley Crue albums, and I'm not. I just wanted to touch, you know, on Shout at the Devil. But, you know me, you watch my videos, I start getting a little sidetracked here and there. Well, this one and that one and this one and that one. But anyway, so on this tour is when I saw him open up for Ozzy, okay? Bedlam and Bedlam, all right? Oh my God, Ozzy snorting ants, all sorts of crap is going on. But I still have my ticket stub here, man. What's the date on here? January, the light in here is so bad. I don't know if it's that 26, 1984. Hey, I'll show it to you. Madison Square Garden. You know, and I hate when ticket tapers, you give them your ticket and they rip it down the middle. You know, they can't just rip the edge off. They rip it down the middle and tear off half the name. But anyway, you'll see. You can see like the end of Osborne. All right, my stupid fingers in a way. All right, there's the date down there. All right, Ozzy, Motley Crue. And on the back, I wrote Motley Crue because they're not mentioned on the ticket. All right, that's just so I remembered. Now I have another ticket stub from 1987, and it was Motley Crue and Whitesnake opened up for him. Yeah, I got a funny story about getting tickets to that show, but I'm not going to say it here. Maybe when I get to the 1987 album, then I'll bring it up then. So yeah, that's my ticket stub. Now I still have the program from that tour. This is the Shout at the Devil tour program. I mean, it's pretty mint condition too, man. You know, like I said, all my stuff, I keep my stuff in good shape. So we'll flip through this real quick. All right, first page. I mean, I love Tommy Lee's drum set on this tour, man. You know, Motley Crue were badass, you know, on this tour, man. And thank God they woke up, and when they did Girls, 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 they got back to like the black leather and stuff after all that glam stuff. Thank God. All right, there's Vince. Nikki. All right. Keep flipping. Got Mr. Mars. The incredible Tommy Lee. Dude, watching this guy in concert is just incredible. I mean, I'm a drummer, so my eyes are fixed on him, but you can't take your eyes off of Tommy Lee when he's playing. I mean, now I don't know, but back then, dude, the sticks and just him playing and a mop of hair and the cymbal catches. I mean, Tommy was on fire back in the day. Great underrated drummer, you know. Solid. There you go. Cool stuff. Trying to get all the stuff into the frame. There's a lot of pictures in here. You know, so supposedly, if you go on YouTube, there's interviews with the producer Tom Werman. And he talks about, you know, with these guys in the studio and how they were. And, you know, Tommy Lee nailed it. You know, Mick Mars would nail his parts and go over stuff. You know, good guitar player. And Nicky, bass playing, was a totally different story. I mean, Nicky really didn't know really how to play bass. I mean, the guy, you know, he got by, you know, he did what he had to do. You know, he wrote the lyrics, he wrote all the harmonies and all that stuff. I mean, you know, you got to give Nicky credit. But as a bass player, that's a different story. So Tom said, you know, in the studio, Nicky needed to be taught some things, you know. But Nicky holds his own, man. Nothing bad to say about Nicky, all right? For what these guys were doing and the music they were playing, it was perfect for them. All right, we're coming to the end of this. Cool. You guys remember that? That was on like friggin' t-shirts. Motley Crue. All right. Now, I have the other programs here. I'll just show you the fronts of them real quick from the shows that I've seen. So I got the Theater Pain one. I'm not going to flip through it. When I talk about the album, then I'll flip through it. I'm just going to show it to you for now, all right? It's the front. It opened up like that. And then the back, all right? Completely different. I mean, look at the costumes from then and this, right? Then you got the Girls, Girls, Girls tour, all right? This was a cool tour, man. This is when Tommy Lee's drum set was going upside down and flipping. It's like, holy cow, man. Motley was great on this tour. I mean, at least when I saw them, they rocked, man. Right? And then the last one that I really saw was the Dr. Feelgood tour. And after that, I was done. All right, done. Yeah, this Dr. Feelgood, good stuff. All right, woo. And that's the back of it. Not much going on there, but the insides are cool. So that's it, man, all right? Just wanted to do a quick spotlight. I know it's not quick. This is probably like a 3-hour freaking video. But I just wanted to get, shout out the devil off my chest, talk about it today because, I mentioned the 40th anniversary box set, all right? Just to recap all that stuff. So that's it, all right? I hope you dig it. Maybe you learned some stuff. Maybe I made you laugh a little bit. Who knows, all right? But anywho, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. Tomorrow's Thursday. We're that closer, this much closer to the weekend, all right? So, as usual, all right? Crazy world out there, right? You guys experience stuff. You see things every day, all right? So, watch out for one another, right? You see something, you say something, all right? Be good to each other. Stay out of trouble. And that's it, all right? Live another day because, nobody wants to be pushing up daisies at the end of the day. I don't. I might be pushing up poison ivy when my turn comes. All right? But anyway, be good, guys. I'll see you soon. I'm not sure what my next video might be. We might do some UFO. We might do some Scorpions. I might do some more underrated bands. Maybe throw some Exciter and the rods at you. I don't know. We'll see. All right? All right. I'll see you soon, man. Be good. Oh, peace out, Buttercup. How can I forget that? Oh. Later, guys.